Hello and welcome to Galata Plus. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Art Parthiban's latest experiment. It's called Iravin Nizhal. Now, Parthiban is known for being different. His latest feature is no different. The world's first non-linear single shot film is what it's called. Now, let's break that up and look at the single shot part first. Everything is captured in one 90-odd minute camera move around production designer Vijay Murugan's cleverly constructed set. Essentially, the cinematographer Arthur A. Wilson and his brilliant team started moving the camera when the story began and stopped moving the camera only when the story ended. So there is no editing at all. Whatever footage was captured in that 90-minute take, in that 90-odd minute camera move, that is the movie we see. Imagine the problems here. First, the lighting keeps varying from one set to the adjacent one, depending on the event described in the screenplay. You may have to light a set to resemble daylight, but before the camera moves to the next set, you may have to simulate night. If any single thing goes wrong, whether in the 8th minute or the 80th minute of the shoot, you have to start reshooting the entire film all over again, as opposed to the usual way of filmmaking, where a film is made of little scenes that are shot in little blocks, and reshooting would just mean reshooting that little scene all over again. Iravin Nizhal is therefore a massive technical feat and also a massive human feat of perseverance and endurance. But there is also the question of why. Why go through all this trouble? Is it just a gimmick? Is it just Parthiban saying, hey, look, I'm Parthiban, I need to do something different, so this is something different? Or is there a natural, organic reason for this single shot technique? The answer lies in the storyline. Now, Parthiban plays a moneylender who finances films at exorbitant interest rates. But when something goes wrong, he picks up a gun and he begins to travel, both physically and mentally. The physical travel takes him from one place to another, and while this happens, the mental travel takes him from one memory to another memory. That is, in cinematic terms, you could call it from one flashback to another flashback. So the non-stop traveling by the camera reflects this man's non-stop physical travels and his non-stop mental travels. So it's an entirely organic technique that fits with this film's theme. And what about the film's second claim to fame, the non-linear nature of the storytelling? What this means is that the story keeps alternating between the past and the present. And this device too is completely justified. When we reflect on the past, events they're not going to come rushing back in sequential order, right? They're going to be a jumble of non-linear memories. In an early scene, we hear a Telugu song. The reason for the inclusion of this language comes several scenes later. Or you take the scene where the protagonist buries someone. Again, the continuation of this incident comes much later. So it is not just the film that is nonlinear, even this particular flashback is nonlinear. It is cut and fragmented across time. And in another instance, the present day protagonist actually enters a memory, a flashback. It reminds us of how in real life we all wish we had been there at some point physically to stop something from happening, whether good or bad. So our wish of, I wish I had been there becomes this person actually entering the flashback or the memory. You know how they say your entire life flashes before your eyes before you die? That's the overall effect of Iravin Nizhal. Like Otta Serappu, the effect is stagey. This is not a naturalistic film at all, though one could argue that Parthiban doesn't really make naturalistic films. It is a stylized film with characters that include a fake godman and a fake godwoman, with locations that include many places of worship, with women that include several lovers, and with a lot of adult content that includes male and female nudity, in addition to sodomy and a ton of swear words. The downsides, Parthiban's trademark wordplay, though very entertaining as always, seems out of place, out of sync with the very serious nature of this movie. Siripale adicha, adukku seripale adichirkalam. It is a clever line and it makes you smile, but it also puts some distance between the audience and the characters who are as serious as the film is. And because the events come to us so fast, some characters like the Godman do not register at all. But at no point could I tear my eyes away or my ears away. A.R. Rahman's music and score are terrific. The first sounds we hear in this movie, they resemble a lullaby or a devotional piece. Later we will see that this is a bit from the song that comes in the movie actually later, Pavam Seyyadiru Maname. Now this humming, this first sound that we hear, it soon deepens with cello notes and then gets corrupted with very discordant human notes, human voices, and we slip into the song Kayam. This is such a fantastic song. This song is chillingly discordant and it is the perfect prelude to the life of this discordant man whose life we're going to see over the next 1.5 hours. Rahman does this throughout. I love the touch of starting a Ghana song with a soft clarinet-like sound. It's quite unusual. And in general, the score either underlines the razor-like cruelties in the screenplay or applies a balm on the wounds. Iravin Nizhal has a trippy sensory feel. There is an incident of ganja selling and we sense those fumes throughout the film. It is sometimes surreal, it is sometimes hallucinatory, it is always fascinating. The cast includes Varalaxmi, Sarathkumar, Robo, Shankar, Priyanka, Ruth, Brigada Saga, but the film is all Parthiban. The first time we see him, he is out of focus. Slowly, his image becomes clearer. In this single stretch, we know what this movie is going to be all about. It's about a mystery man who we slowly get to understand. I was a little unsure rather, about Parthiban's decision to include the film's making of video, which shows how Iravin Nizhal was pulled off. You know, should a magician reveal his tricks? That's always the question, right? And which means that the illusion is also destroyed a little. But given the film's experimental nature, this video adds another layer of experiment. Cinema is an art form, people need to be educated about it, and what better teacher than someone who has never been afraid to break the grammar. So that's it about Iravin Nizhal. If you like this video, do subscribe to Galata Plus and see you soon at the movies.